Yo, what's up guys? This is Gangsta Jads, and I'm going to be going over the most popular builds in the game right now. I collected data from 100 of the top hangers in the game. These players were between 6,300 and 7,200 SP, and here are all their names. So first, let's go over the most popular mechs in the game right now. So out of the 100 players, 86 of them had Panther in their hanger, 82 of them had Surge, 78 of them had Stalker, 60 of them had Killshot, 57 of them used Guardian, 48 of them had Tengu, 13 of them had Orion, 12 of them had Ares, 10 of them had Aegis, 9 of them had Paragon, 9 of them had Zephyr, 8 of them had Redeemer, 8 of them had Shadow, and 5 of them had Lancer. Next, let's go over the most popular weapons in the game right now. So out of the 100 hangers, 148 of them had disc launchers in it. This means that a lot of people had 2 disc launcher mechs in their hanger. 75 of them had arc turrets, 57 of them had rocket mortars, 54 of them had shotguns, 53 of them had EM rifles, 44 of them had railguns, 21 of them had missile racks, 17 of them had carbines, 7 of them had graviton beams, 3 of them had long arms, and 3 of them had stasis beams. So next, let's go over the data on every single mech. So first is Panther. Out of the 86 players that used him, 31 of them used EM rifles, 31 of them used disc launchers, 21 of them used railguns, and the rest of them used other weapons. So out of the 31 players who used EM rifles, 24 of them used Archangel, 4 of them used Maverick, and 2 of them used Major or Asami. And almost all the players used the EM rifle damage and the EM rifle reload implant. And for the next 2 slots, it was between the ability cooldown implant, the ability duration implant, the EM rifle range implant, and the Panther barrier height implant. I was surprised that this many players used the Panther barrier height implant. That is not too great of an implant. So out of the 31 players who used disc launchers on Panther, 18 of them used Stefania, 7 of them used Rosa, and 6 of them used either Major or Asami. And most of the players used the disc launcher radius, disc launcher damage, and the disc launcher reload implant. And for the last slot, it was between the ability cooldown, Panther barrier height, and the ability duration implant. So out of the 21 players who used Panther with railguns, 12 of them used Archangel, 8 of them used Maverick, and 1 of them used either Major or Asami. And most of the players used the railgun damage and the railgun reload implant. And for the next 2 slots, it was between the railgun range implant, the ability cooldown implant, the ability duration implant, and the Panther barrier height implant. Next is Surge. Out of the 82 players who used him, 58 of them used arc turrets on him, 13 of them used disc launchers on him, and the rest used other weapons on him. Out of the 58 players who used arc turrets on him, 43 of them used Mina on him, 9 of them used Major or Asami on him, and 6 of them used G-Lock on him. And most of them used the arc turret damage, arc turret range, and arc turret mag implant for the first 3 slots. And for the last slot, it was between the Surge dash distance, the Surge dash radius, and the ability cooldown implant. Out of the 13 people who used disc launchers on Surge, 10 of them used Stefania on him, 1 of them used Rosa on him, and 2 of them used Major or Asami on him. And most of the players used the disc launcher damage, the disc launcher radius, and the disc launcher reload implant. And for the last slot, it was between the ability cooldown, the Surge dash distance, Surge dash radius, and the ability duration implant. Next is Stalker. Out of the 78 players who used him, 40 of them used disc launchers, 27 of them used rocket mortars, and the rest used other weapons on him. It looks like most of the players are switching from mortars on him to disc launchers on him. So out of the 40 players who used disc launchers on him, 32 of them used Stefania on him, 7 of them used Major or Asami on him, and 1 of them used Rosa on him. And most of the players used the disc launcher damage, disc launcher reload, and the disc launcher radius implant. And almost all the players are using the Predator Drive damage implant on him, but some of them are using the ability cooldown implant or the Predator Drive heal implant. A lot of people are using the Predator Drive damage implant. It makes Stalker's damage insane. So out of the 27 players who use mortar on Stalker, 15 of them used Boar, 8 of them used Faye, and 4 of them used Major or Asami. And almost all the players used the rocket mortar damage, rocket mortar radius, and the Predator Drive damage implant for the first 3 slots. And the last slot was between the ability cooldown, the rocket mortar range, and the ability duration implant. Next is Killshot. Out of the 60 players that used him, 27 of them used mortars on him, 11 of them used discs on him, 10 of them used missile racks on him, and the rest used other weapons. Surprising how many people are using Killshot Killshot now. Since everyone's using Stalker with discs now, a lot of people are using Killshot with mortars now. So he's definitely viable with the Boar pilot. So out of the 27 players who use mortars on him, 17 of them use Boar on him, and 10 of them used Fey on him. All of them use a rocket mortar damage and the rocket mortar radius implant for the first 2 slots. And for the next 2 slots, it was between the Killshot dash distance, the ability cooldown, the Killshot dash damage, and the Killshot dash radius implant. And out of the 11 players who use disc launchers on Killshot, 6 of them use Stefania on him, 3 of them use Major or Asami on him, and 2 of them use Rosa. And all the players use the 3 disc launcher implants for the first 3 slots, and either the ability cooldown, the Predator Drive damage implant, or the Killshot dash radius implant. Next is Guardian. Out of the 57 players who used him, 30 of them use disc launchers on him, 22 of them use railguns, 4 of them use EM rifles, and 1 of them use graviton beams. A lot of players are using disc launchers on Guardian now, since a lot of the players are using EM rifles on Panther. And out of the 30 players that are using disc launchers on Guardian, 13 of them are using Stefania, 12 of them are using Major or Asami, and 5 of them are using Rosa. Most of the players are using the 3 disc launcher implants with either the ability cooldown or the system crash range implant. Guardian disc with the system crash range implant is incredibly deadly. And out of the 22 players are using railguns on Guardian, 13 of them are using Archangel, 6 of them are using Maverick, and 3 of them are using Major or Asami. Almost all the players are using the railgun damage, railgun reload, and the ability cooldown implant for the first 3 slots, and either the system crash range implant, the railgun range implant, or the ability duration implant. I don't know why anyone uses the ability duration implant, since it does not help Guardian at all. Next is Tengu. Out of the 48 players that used him, 46 of them use shotguns on him. This makes sense since the shotguns are the only meta build on him. And out of the 46 players that use Tengu shotguns, 23 of them use Mina on him, 19 of them use Major or Asami on him, and 4 of them use G-Lock on him. It seems like half of the players are putting their Mina on Tengu and half of them are putting their Mina on Surge instead. All the players use the shotgun damage and shotgun range implant, but for the next 2 slots, it was between the shotgun reload, the ability cooldown, the Sky Strike stealth, the Sky Strike damage, and the ability duration implant. I was surprised this many players use the shotgun reload implant since I don't think it's a very great implant. Instead, I think the ability cooldown plus either the Sky Strike stealth or the Sky Strike damage implant is much better. Next is Orion. Out of the 13 players that used Orion, 8 of them used disc launchers and the rest used other weapons. So out of the 8 players that used disc launchers on him, 4 of them used Stefania on him, 2 of them used Major or Asami on him, and 2 of them used Rosa on him. And almost all the players used the 3 disc launcher implants with the ability cooldown implant. Next is Ares. Out of the 12 players that used him, 6 of them used carbines, 5 of them used disc launchers, and 1 of them used arc turrets. I'm surprised this many players are using carbines on Ares since carbines are not a great weapon. Next is Aegis. Out of the 10 players that used him, 8 of them used disc launchers on him, 1 of them used missile racks on him, and 1 of them used rocket mortars on him. Aegis with disc launchers is a really good meta counter build. Next is Paragon. Out of the 9 players that used him, 5 of them used EM rifles on him, 2 of them used disc launchers on him, 1 of them used railguns on him, and 1 of them used stasis beams on him. Next is Zephyr. Out of the 9 players that used him, 6 of them used arc turrets on him, 1 of them used missile racks on him, 1 of them used rocket motors on him, and 1 of them used graviton beams on him. And Zephyr is only really viable with the pulse range implant. Next is the Redeemer. 8 players have gotten him, 3 of them used missile racks on him, 2 of them used arc turrets on him, 1 of them used disc launchers on him, 1 of them used graviton beams on him, and 1 of them used shotguns on him. The best 2 weapons on Redeemer are the missile racks and the EMs. I think when the EM12s come out, he's definitely gonna be viable. Next is the Shadow. Out of the 8 players that used him, 4 of them used shotguns on him, 3 of them used EM rifles on him, and 1 of them used arc turrets on him. Next is Lancer. Out of the 5 players that used him, 3 of them used EM rifles on him, and 2 of them used shotguns on him. So now it's the final results. What's the most popular build in the game right now? So in 10th place is Panther Rails with 21 players. This is a strong build, but it's gotten outshined by Panther with EM rifles. Next is Guardian Rails at 9th place with 22 players using him. This is also a strong build on him, but disc launchers are stronger on him. Next, tied for 7th place are Killshot and Stalker with mortars, both with 27 players using them. Before, much more people used to use Stalker mortars, but now a lot of people use Killshot mortars and then Stalker discs. Next, in 6th place is Guardian discs with 30 players using them. This is a super strong build, especially with the System Crash range implant. Next, tied for 4th place is Panther with EMs and Panther with discs. Both of them have 31 players using them. These are both super strong builds, but a lot of people are switching over to the EMs on him. The EMs on Panther is stronger than the discs on almost every mode besides 2v2 maps. Next at 3rd place is Stalker with discs with 40 players using him. This build is incredibly strong, especially with the Predator Drive damage implant. It's the ultimate bot killer and it's also really good against players. Next in 2nd place is the Tengu shotguns with 46 players using him. Tengu is definitely the 2nd best scout mech in the game, but I think less people are going to start using him since they're going to be replacing him with Redeemer. And in 1st place is Surge with Arc Turrets with 58 players using him. It's definitely the best scout mech in the game. We'll see if less people start using him once Redeemer becomes meta. And here's a pie chart of every single build that the 100 players used. You can see how the triangles go from big to small until you can barely even see the triangles anymore. And I'll link the spreadsheet of my data in the description if you're interested. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and see you guys.